All right, guys, we're back. Now we're now talking about combining like terms. Let's first talk about a variable. When you think of a variable, simply think of a value that can change. So when you see the word expression, a mathematical expression, it's just a statement. But it'll usually involve variables and numbers. So we're going to look at a mathematical expression next. As an example, let's let X be the net worth of your best friend. Now, your best friend, you think you know your best friend, right? But in reality, they could be set to inherit a ton of money that you don't even know about, right? Or they could have a secret gambling problem and they could actually have like millions of dollars of debt, right? So it's a big unknown to you. You don't know what the true net worth of your friend is. And so that is a variable, right? We can let X represent that net worth. So here, this says X plus 100, but we're really utilizing that X that we just said what X was, right? This was, say, the net worth of your friend. And let's say that your net worth is $100, right? And so if I were to say, okay, how much money does your friend have? Obviously, you don't know, and you have $100, right? You know your net worth. But then I would think about, let's say I ask you the question, well, somebody says, oh, how much do you guys have altogether? You couldn't answer that, right? Because you don't know what your friend's net worth is. I mean, unless you asked them. But in this case, we're just saying we don't know it. So we can't say the overall net worth between you and your friend because we don't know your friend's net worth. Now let's check out this example. Let's let X be the total of miles you travel round trip to visit your grandma. Okay, so that's X, right? Let's say that it's the beginning of the year. Your grandma yet hasn't settled into her final, like her place where she's going to be at. So you don't even know where she's going to be at. So let's say it's unknown, right? So wherever grandma settles down, you're going to do that round trip. X is representing that total trip to get to grandma's house and then get back, right? And let's say that you took that trip. You're gonna take that trip, but and then later on that year, you have to go back 2 more times. So you're gonna take 2 more trips to go visit grandma, and that's just facts. That's just something that that's gonna happen, right? Well, in this case, these are actually like terms. Why? Because if you're gonna go visit grandma once and then you're gonna go visit grandma 2 more times, the total amount of distance that you're going to have to travel on this is going to be 3 times, however many miles you have to go round trip to get to grandma and back, right? So in this case, we're combining X plus 2X to get 3X. Now, what I usually tell my students is I tell them to circle the variables that are alike, and I usually tell them to circle the sign too, just so it can just stay clean. Like, this is a positive X and we're adding 2 more X's to it. And then we usually draw these little lines right here just to show that we're combining them to be 3X in that case. Now here's something that is noteworthy though. We just combined X plus 2X to be 3X, right? But let's say it was a little different, and let's say you had those 3X let's say that it was that was the amount that you're going to spend to go on that trip to go see grandma 3 times. That was representing the 3X right there. And let's say you knew that also that you had to, now this is something that you didn't know. You knew you had to go 75 miles to, I don't know. Let's say you had to go, you're going to go visit your cousin, and you knew you had to do that 75-mile trip. That was for sure. If somebody were to say, well, bro, how much are you going to have to travel all together, right? But they asked you this when grandma still hadn't settled down. It's still an unknown variable. You would be like, fool, I told you, I don't know. Grandma has not settled down yet. I can't tell you how much I'm going to travel all together, right? Because grandma hasn't settled down. When grandma settles down, then I will tell you. But right now, I can't. So if you notice here, these are not like terms, okay? these are not like terms. You cannot combine them to be one thing. All right. But over here, x plus 2x, we can. All right. So we're going to start getting good at recognizing which terms are alike and which ones are not. So let's look at this example. Let's say they were telling you to simplify this. And, well, check it out. See, I have 2x's plus 8x's. These are your like terms, right? These both have an x next to the number. So like, in other words, if let's just say x was the amount of miles you travel, right? If you're going to do that trip twice and you know you're going to have to do it 8 more times, well then yeah, you're going to have to do that trip 10 total times, right? And if you have $10 plus you have $7, you're going to have $17, right? And I like to usually like squiggly these, and I go all the way underneath the plus or minus sign just so I can be clear on what I'm doing, and I draw those lines there to signify that I'm collecting those like terms. Sorry about my phone. All right, so there it is, 10x plus 17. Now can we combine them here? Absolutely not. Right there, we're done. Okay, because these are not like terms. That value of x can change. We don't know what it is yet, so we can't combine these into one thing. There is our final simplified statement. Next example. Also, guys, notice there is no equal sign that I'm being given. It's just asking me to simplify. Remember, if they don't give you an equal sign, don't create an equal sign. All I'm going to do here is combine like terms, and it's going to work like gravity. Well, kind of like gravity. Everything's going to fall down towards you. I guess that's not really gravity. It's going towards you, right? But it's going to come this way. Everything's going to come this way. So we always work towards yourself. We're going to come down on the paper. Negative 5x plus 7x. I'm going to combine these two like terms here, and I'm going to add a negative 5 with a positive 7. And you learned from the previous videos, these signs are different. Therefore, I'm in case 2. I'm going to subtract the absolute values, which is a 7 and a 5. Big minus small. 7 5 minus 5 is 2. But I have an x there, right? So 2x, keep the sign of the bigger number. The bigger absolute value is 7. It's positive. So these combine to be 7x. And again, case 2, this is negative, this is positive. And when I combine these, I'm going to get a positive 8. So I'm going to add an 8 to that. And that's all she wrote. Okay, example 3. Now check this out. And let's say they tell us again to simplify. I'm going to first look and see which ones are the like terms. I can see I have a negative 3x, and I'm adding a negative 5x. So these are like terms here that need to be combined. And as well, these numbers need to be combined. And I'll just start with 8 plus 4, which is 12. And then, let's look at these two guys. These are both negative, aren't they? So that looks like case 1, right? Signs are the same. Therefore, I'm going to add their absolute values, which is a positive 3 and a positive 5, to get 8. Don't forget the x. And I'm going to keep the sign because it's getting more negative. So 12 minus 8x. There's our final answer. My bad. I should have put them a little closer to each other. And you could have also written this as 12 plus a negative 8x. And here is our last example. I'm just going to go through and circle all the like terms. Again, they'll ask you to simplify. And what do we got? We got a negative 13x. We got a positive 4x. We got a positive 3x. And then these are just numbers, right? So all those are going to be combined. If you wanted to, you could do like a lot of these. Well, I'm just going to take the long route. So I'm going to combine these two first, which is going to be different signs. I'm going to subtract absolute values, big minus small. 13 take away 4 is 9. Don't forget the x. Who's winning? Looks like negatives are winning, right? And then I'm going to bring this one down, the plus 3x. And then I'm going to combine these two here. Now, if you can do all three of them at once, that's fine. I'm just trying to make it clear for everybody. So I have a 9 minus 6. That's going to be a positive 3. And I'm going to drop down the plus the negative 8. And now this looks a lot like example 3, right? I have like terms here and like terms here. And when I combine these, I get a negative 6x, and this is plus a negative 5 or minus 5. And that's it. Okay. So once again, guys, I will put in the description some more example problems, or I'll run through like this just so you can get a little more practice. And again, pause the video. Don't be afraid to take notes. Don't be afraid to try and see if you can do it before I do it, and it'll be all good. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.